Taurus. Welcome to your February 1st through 15th solar session. I am Marlo if you're new, and if you're family, welcome back, my friend, and what's not on, whatever. So we're going to go ahead and jump into you guys' cards and see what's going on, okay, with you guys for the first 15 days of February, if the cards ever come out. I keep stopping because I'm like, is it that one? Is it this one? Is it that one? Okay, there we go. First card out, we have the Three of Swords and the reverse. Congratulations, Taurus. Your heart is winning, not your mind. I always look at the Three of Swords as your mind attacking your heart. So coming into February, out of January, you guys are in recovery. You guys are healing from something, child. I mean, it could just be, you know, beating yourself up in your head. For some of you guys, it could be, you know, a breakup, a disappointment, or some sense of loss that occurred in January. We have the Empress and the reverse coming out next, and that's, of course, Taurus as well as Libran, Venetian energy and whatnot or whatever. So you guys are on the mend from something, and I feel that there's a need, and I'm just going to say it in my language, there's a need to kind of get your swag back. You know what I'm saying? Because in the first week of February, Taurians are feeling a lot of kind of, you know, barren. You know, you're not practicing your self-care. You're not feeling very abundant. You know what I'm saying? You don't feel very fruitful and whatnot or whatever. And I feel like in some sense or another as well, you guys are not nurturing your inner self. Now, granted, I understand that when we're on the mend from something and we're in recovery from some sort of disappointment, whether it's romantic relationships, I mean, it could be, you know, career, job, it could even be finances. Come on, we're Tauruses. Like, we will grieve over some finances, child. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like you guys are coming to the place where you're kind of getting a hold on your thoughts. Ooh, and my guides just said something saucy. That was spicy, y'all. That was spicy. Okay, they said that you're getting control over your thoughts, right? To where you're not like ruminating and stuff, but underneath those thoughts revealed that they sprung from beliefs. Child, that's tea right there. That is hot piping tea. You understand? Because that brings us back to this Empress. If we're talking about beliefs, this would be speaking to core beliefs, like core beliefs about oneself, like, and that puts the Empress in the light of like self-worth, self-respect, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, self-care being a vehicle. So if there's a lack thereof of self-nurturing or, well, I mean, that would explain why it is if you was beating yourself up in your head. That makes perfect sense. Because that's a byproduct of it, because this is me putting my therapist hat on, but as if my therapist hat is ever off. But anyway, but our thoughts are the byproducts of our beliefs. So how it is that we talk to ourselves in our head, or the thoughts that we think, the perspectives that we more often than not draw from our experiences, find their roots in our beliefs about ourselves as well as life, and ourselves in relation to life, ourselves in relation to other people. So what this is kind of revealing to me, Taurus, is in the first week of February, as you get dominion over these thoughts, which says that there's something you guys probably went through in January to where it was hurtful, it was heartbreaking, and, you know, your mind's kind of like on the spin cycle type of deal, the, you know, thought reel, all of the things. But as you start to gain dominion over that and your heart space starts to open up again, it's almost like, I don't know why they're saying to say this, your inner sanctum. I don't necessarily feel that feels right in that sentence, but I'm just going to go with it. But your inner sanctum will speak to you. And it's pointing you in the direction of the true root of the issue, which is how it is that you perceive yourself and how you're treating yourself as a byproduct of how you, or the beliefs you have about yourself, and those thoughts also being the byproduct of those beliefs. Now, the next card that you guys have, it's Scorpio energy. We have the Death card in the reverse. So here's the thing, Taurus. There's resistance to this coming into the latter part of the week, and not a good idea, by the way, says your friend Marlo, because on the 6th of February, we have the full moon in Leo, right? And that's an opportune time for you guys to release things. Now, granted, So sorry to interrupt you guys while you're listening to the show, but I wanted to tell you guys about our new partnership with BetterHelp. If you haven't heard of them, it's an online resource in which you can find your very own friendly local neighborhood therapist, no matter where you are in the world. You sign up, and within 24 hours, they match you with a therapist that's right for you. And you can talk to your counselor every week via phone or video chat. You can also text them between sessions. If you or someone you know has been considering therapy, get started today with BetterHelp. Now let's get back to the show. I'm a very practical, rational human being, okay? By no means would I ever tell you to release your false core beliefs under a full moon because they're not going anywhere. You know what I'm saying? However, if you did do that, don't back it up by not going to therapy. You know what I'm saying? Because these are things that need to be processed. It's like, and we can get into a whole wormhole here, but I'm just going to try to keep it simple. But, we partner with BetterHelp. Do the thing. Sign up for therapy. But when it comes to false core beliefs, it's not something like, you could do some thought work and realize like, I believe I'm unlovable, right? But that's just knowledge you have, right? It's like, so you can continuously tell yourself like, I'm lovable, I'm lovable, I'm lovable, do a whole, affirmation book on it, all the things. You can do all of that. But these are things that you have to work out because you kind of have to see like that seed of that false core belief and how it's kind of grown, a tree with lots of roots into different areas of your life, because you have to look at it from different perspectives. So that feeling of being unlovable, like it came from a certain place, it's been reinforced by different experiences, seemingly so, because of the mental perspective that you have, right? So, and this is very similar to what I actually said to Libra. So since that's your, Venetian brethren and sister, and if it's not in your chart, I would still check, their reading out, because I went into great detail about this when I was talking about truth, or was that Scorpio? Can't remember. It's one of the two. But, and that's your opposite sign. So watch that too. And then it's in your reading. So do it. The whole thing is I was saying that there's three sides of truth, right? Like whenever something happens, like there's three truths, right? And there's my perspective, right? Like my truth, there's your truth, and then there's the truth. So how I perceive what happened, how you perceive what happened, and what actually happened, right? And when we have false core beliefs about ourselves, right, that alters our thoughts and thus our perspective. So whenever something is happening in a specific situation, we're not necessarily seeing it for what it is. It's like we're projecting those false core beliefs. So if I believe I'm unlovable, then when people respond to me certain ways, it triggers that belief, and I start thinking things, right? Where I'm just like, oh, they're going to break up with me. They're going to dump me. They're going to ghost me. And I'm not saying it because like, because I'm unlovable, they're going to do these things, because we don't think our beliefs. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it is a belief, and it's like, what's the word I'm looking for? It's kind of like if you think about like a fountain, right? It's like you have water in a fountain, and it's like you see it shooting up. It's like it's getting the water to shoot up from the water in the basin, right? And your core beliefs are like that basin, right? But with this death card in the reverse, it's saying that there's a level of resistance to this, right? And I don't think that's a great idea. Because with this full moon, it is an opportunity. If you did want to go as far as releasing them, don't just leave it at that, right? Like, don't just do it as like a parlor trick, write it on a piece of paper and set it on fire and think that's going to do something, because that doesn't just reverse beliefs like that, because these are really deep-seated things in us, and 9 times out of 10 are intricately related to, inner child wounds. And those are things that you have to work out over time. It's not just like a one and done, like, I think this and bam, it's over, So it's continuous thought work that we're doing, in so many words. But I feel with this, though, seeing this 3 of Swords in the reverse, it's looking like to me that you guys are on the brink of a heart opening. But the only thing is that death card is making me real mad. Because it's a resistance to it. It's like, this is something that should be, I would say there's a call on your life right now to where how you have been showing up in life up to this point, this is like, this needs to be and would behoove you to be the period at the end of the sentence, but I feel it's just kind of not really understanding what's going on that is causing you guys to be resistant to the death, right? The proverbial death, right? Because you're not really feeling your best self. Like, I mean, and Taurus, we've talked about this for months, child. Like it's this whole battle weary vibe that I've been getting with Tauruses, where it's like, y'all done been through hell and high water. Hell, Taurus. I am a double Taurus. I understand things have been cray. You understand what I'm saying? But this is something that we do have control over. We don't have control over the external world, but we do have control over ourselves. And I feel like you want to make the most of that. So don't allow fear, any resistance that you have to anything that's kind of unknown about this transition that you guys are being called to go into, to stop you from actually going through it. Now, coming into the second week of February, child, look, what was I talking about? Inner child wounds, mommy issues. We got the moon card, that's Cancerian energy. Yeah, this is like shadow work. I'm not even bullshitting. Like, the whole thing with this is now, even looking at this coming into like the end of the week, because it's on the 6th, I think that's a Sunday, if I'm not mistaken. So looking at the 6th going into the second week of February, it very well could be that there's a level of resistance coming to the latter part of the week if we're talking about like Friday, Saturday-ish, you know what I'm saying? But I feel specifically on or around the full moon, so that's 3 days before, 3 days after, I feel like there's something's going to end up coming out, whether that's literally, it could be in a dream for some of you. And lucky for you guys, actually, for those of you who are not members on my network, here goes a moment for me to promote the network where this is very relevant because it would help you, Taurus. So those of you who are not members of my network or don't know what my network is, it's called Our Sanctuary, and it's a women's empowerment group, right? That's based on spirituality, self-discovery, personal development, all of the things, right? And we have this thing every month that's called Cauldron Fire, and that's me and my entire staff. We all come together and have like a super fun night. We pick a topic and, you know, we play games, you know, we teach some stuff, you know, all the things, do quizzes, like all the things. And the theme for this month for February, we're doing it Saturday. So I don't know if y'all gonna see this in time on YouTube, but we're doing it this Saturday on the 4th. And is it the 4th? I think it's the 4th. Yeah, we're doing it on the 4th of February. And the whole theme is dream work, you know, because a lot of people have been having really crazy dreams. So this would be a fine time for you to go ahead and just join the network. You understand what I'm saying? Anywho, moving right along. With this moon in the reverse, this can come up in the form of a dream. I can't deny and say that it won't. I can't say that it won't be that someone would tell you something about yourself or about someone else that you may not have known prior to. But in best case scenario, whether this is manifesting through a dream or it's you guys just getting clarity on yourself, like what I was talking about with that death card, if it's you guys kind of realizing like, whoa, this is what I'm doing, like, holy shit, you know what I'm saying? It feels more like an epiphany or a revelation, but it's still very much what I was talking about with the whole inner child work type of thing. Because I mean, that's what your inner critic is anyway. It's the voice of your inner child that's telling you to not take chances and move forward in life because, you know, it's not safe and we can get hurt, harmed, or maimed. They just don't say it that nicely. But anyway, this can be the revelation that issues that you guys may be dealing with, that it may go back to your mother, it may go back to childhood. You know what I'm saying? There could be shadow aspects that are coming up. And I'm remembering something right now. I was literally working on a meditation script for my little theory, the Judas and the Mirror theory, on last night. And I don't remember. I was having a conversation with someone and it compelled me to want to work on that. And that's ironic that this is coming up with the whole shadow work thing. I'm going to have to talk to my staff and find out who. Someone said something that made me think of that. I don't remember what, but yeah, dude, but this is legit like shadow work, and the stuff is coming up for a reason because it's like it has to come up to the surface. And this is a theme for like every sign I've done prior to you guys, Taurus, where it's something that's coming up to the surface that needs to be faced. I think I even said that with Aries too. Like it's something that's coming to the surface that needs to be faced because this is like the root of the problem. Like this is the program that's been operating underneath it all that's been causing, less than stellar things to happen in your life. And even if, because like I say, as a licensed therapist, I can't even lie to you and say that in one fell swoop. That's why I say, like, don't put it on a piece of paper and burn it, because it ain't going to do shit. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, that doesn't mean that you can't start the journey. Like, you can set an intention, or you can align with the vibration of releasing these negative core beliefs. But like I told you guys in January in a lot of the soul sessions, that faith without works is dead, right? So it's like, you can have faith for something and say like, ooh, spirit, I want this, or oh, spirit, I'm this, or your affirmations, I'm beautiful, I'm beautiful, I'm beautiful. You can do all of that, right? But if you don't actually do the work, you know what I'm saying, to kind of unwind these things or to move in the direction of these things, they're not just going to fall into your lap. You feel what I'm saying? So I feel in the second week, whatever this is, and I really do feel it's going to be around this Leo full moon. But whether that's in a dream, it's a personal revelation that you have, or it's something you find out about something, the whole premise of that is to kind of bring you to your own personal bedrock, because there's some shadow work that needs to be done. And lucky for you guys, your girl has a whole shadow work course. I'm putting it up on the website. It was up in our sanctuary, and everyone took it last year. But because, like, boys... all my dude subbies are just like, I want to take the shadow work course, but I can't join the sanctuary. So I'm putting it up on my website. I'm just transferring it over from one program to another. So keep your eye out for that. But anywho, next card that you guys have the Strength in the reverse. That's Leo energy. Looking at this falling under this, man, that's just like how I felt it for Libra, but different. It's falling under the Empress in the reverse. And I felt this energy different. And Jesus, that's 4 major arcana, Taurus. I felt this different for Leo. But I mean, it's like with them, I felt it was like a very vivacious kind of energy. With you guys, I feel like it's kind of like loosing the chains. Like, I feel like you guys have to release the stronghold that you have on yourself, because like Tauruses, we're real big on personal accountability, right? But it's almost like you're holding yourself so accountable that you're holding yourself back from your truest version. And I say that because the last card you guys have is the Two of Cups. So there's a level of balance that's lacking. And of course, once again, 1st and 15th, we're looking at 3 of Swords in the reverse. And I was saying, it's like you're gaining some sentiment of dominion over your thoughts. But my guides are like, and underneath those thoughts, uprise these beliefs that you did not know were there. Like, damn, I really don't like myself. Is that the reason why I don't, whatever the case. But the whole premise is for the first 15 days is for you to get to a place to where you like yourself and you're courting yourself. And even so, I'm even looking at this in the context of, is masculine, feminine energy, like the didactic facets of yourself. Because with the Empress card, you see the 2 little kids, like the little boy and the little girl. And then in the 2 of Cups, you have the little boy and the little girl. I really feel what it is that's been being neglected in Taurus. And it's like, it's like beating your inner wife. That's what we call it on the network. It's like when you're treating your inner self like crap. And I mean, even the same thing is here in the Moon card with our little wolves, And that's the same yin yang aspect. I feel it's the heart space, it's the feminine energy of Taurians that has been being neglected for this time. So it's almost as if Taurians have been operating a great deal in masculine energy, and not saying it in the context of all of the blah that people talk about today, but meaning it in the sense of action-oriented energy. It's like, I can do it. It's like strong friend complex. You know what I'm saying? I can do it by myself. I got this. I'm Gucci. I don't need nobody help. I'm good. Ain't nobody going to be there for me anyway. You know what I'm saying? Like that type of mentality. It's more or less like hitting the wall with that and realizing, okay, this really isn't helping me. But you're in a vulnerable space for a reason, because it's like a heart opening, and I'm literally hearing cracking in my spiritual ears. It's like things are being broken up. You know what I'm saying? So it's like dying to the old self. Like the old self operated solely out of the masculine energy, which is like, action and thought and doing and things of the sort, like going. and has been neglecting as well as suppressing the feminine energy. And if I could make it easier for you, Taurus, 9 times out of 10, the thing that's going to be revealed is how in your past, how you were conditioned to believe that that was the right way to be, that having emotions was, weak, or crying was weak, or to be in need, to take care of yourself, to make yourself a priority. You know what I'm saying? Like all of these things fall into that arena of core beliefs, of things that you felt like, self-sacrifices, what's hot in the streets right now. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I feel in that second week, that's what's going to come to the surface. And with the strength in the reverse, there's a need to release yourself from that, because it's almost like, it's like being bound and being chained by this. Like almost like, if I were to speak in conjure terms, it's like being hexed or being crossed in some way, shape, form, or fashion. You know what I'm saying? And, or if I were to quote T.D. Jakes, it's like, woman, thou art loosed. You know what I'm saying? Like, you need to be delivered, bae. You feel what I'm saying? So when you're coming up into the midpoint of the month, there's a level of ebb and flow between those two extremes. It's not about denying your masculine and like, just putting the feminine on a pedestal. That's supposed to be a leveled playing field that are working in harmony and in concert with each other. And that's really what the goal is. So I feel whatever it is that got you guys to the place to where you were in Three of Swords once upon a time, like the thing that you are recovering from, it's like whatever that thing is, it was very much needed, because it got you to a point to where it put one little crack, in your Buddha, so it can start to peel away and we can see the golden Buddha within Dagnabbit's son of a gun. You know what I'm saying? So it's like a transformation is in the cards for you all, pun intended, I guess. Like that's in the cards for you guys, but it's like you have to meet yourself halfway. You know what I'm saying? Oh, cha. My favorite card in the deck. Well, one of the many. I have so many favorite cards. The Seven of Swords is on the bottom of your deck, and the position of why is all of this happening? And y'all know, I feel like we should all say it together. When I see the Seven of Swords, you guys know what I always say. I say, I hope you said it out loud. Because if you did, it makes me so happy. If you're new, every time I see the Seven of Swords, I always say, what you skip will trip you up later, right? But this is in the reverse. So this is once again speaking to this. Ooh, child, look, I said I was going to stop picking up cards from the bottom of this damn deck, okay? This energy with the Seven of Swords is very reminiscent. It's in the same vibrational frequency, if you will, of the moon in the reverse. You feel what I'm saying? Because it's something being revealed. But with this being in the position of why all of this is happening, it's for you to see the truth of how you've been fucking yourself over. You know what I'm saying? Like what you skip will trip you up later. Now is that later. You feel what I'm saying? And things that you have skipped, right, is yourself, right? Not doing this inner child work, not doing this shadow work, not balancing these parts of yourself and all the other kind of things. And then I feel like I need to tell y'all something else. I'll tell y'all at the end. But yeah, dude, so that's why all this is happening. It's like for you to see the truth of the matter. And this was very similar to what I was saying. I think I said something similar to Scorpio, I believe, of like where it's an element of like, and that's your opposite sign. So it's still helpful, but in the sense of how it's like a kind of theme of self-sabotage, you know what I'm saying? But it's like we don't self-sabotage just because we don't like ourselves. It's like we're just not seeing the full picture of what's happening. But the first 15 days for you guys are playing out this way is because the spirit is setting you up for the okie doke so you see what is happening. Now, what was underneath this, and I'm not going to do what I'd be doing because I just be going through the whole deck, but this is just the most important. And then it's a minor arcana after it, so whatever. So you guys had the Chariot that's underneath the Seven of Swords in the reverse. And it's speaking to those same themes, right? It's the masculine and the feminine, the yin and the yang, you know what I'm saying? It's like those two aspects of self that are on one accord. And mind you, that is the tarot card for this year because it's the 7 year, you know what I'm saying? It's about getting on one accord. So you're working in concert so that the Chariot can move forward, right? So all of this is happening to get Taurus to move forward. So I can't wait to see the second half of you guys' month. That's going to be so cool because that's been your soul session. So on the 15th, on all of my platforms, our Sanctuary, Patreon, all the places, I'm putting out you guys mid-month checkup where we're going to look at the 15th through the 28th of the month. So if you're about that life, most certainly come be a member. If you want to go to Cauldron Fire, become a member of our Sanctuary. Because I do stuff there that I don't even do on Patreon or on YouTube. And what I did want to say was for those of you guys, because I know I have like a whole list of people that aren't on the Sanctuary that wanted to take the shadow work course. And if you're one of those people, just go on my website, thewoketherapist.com. And I have like, if you go on my, what is it? The contact thing. Like, so when you first go on, you're going to see like the little landing page for my other course, the Get Your Shit Together course. But if you click enter full site and you see like my whole website at the top, there's going to be like all these different options. And there's a little button up there that says contact. And when you click that, there's like a little email box where you can write me. So just write me an email through my website and just put shadow work course. So that way, once it's up on my site, instead of you having to watch YouTube videos, because, you know, I don't be promoting everything, you know. But so that way I can just email you directly and be like, hey, friend, the course up. But anywho, that's all I have to say. I love your freaking face, Taurus. I will see you guys sooner than later, my friends.